Lakshmi, welcome. Someone in the Gandhi line. Hello.
Okay, so I'm going to mute everybody now. Okay. So I'm going to mute everybody now.
Yeah. I'll move over here.
Dada Sham, everyone. Good morning and welcome to our second Silver Sunday. Before I make any more announcements or anything, I think we should welcome God. So we'll say 3 Gayatri Mantra and then we'll start our program. So let's take a deep breath and 3 Gayatri Mantra now. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We've got a beautiful program lined up from the organ donors department as well as a beautiful musical event. So stay tuned for today now up till 1 o'clock. I wanted to seek prayers for many of the seniors who are living alone. There are a few people that came into my mind. Was Auntie Wazirani, who's not well. I hear Auntie Lakshmi Itnani is also not doing 100%. But there are many others. So I seek prayers and let us send positive vibrations to each and every one of our seniors. Due to the pandemic, due to the unsurety of the variants happening, to keep safe, I think we will continue our Zoom for now until the foreseen future when we see that it's safe to travel for everyone to come to the center. But we will keep you entertained on Zoom every month. So our next Zoom satsang, actually it's a musical Bollywood quiz done by Raj, our own in-house team, and it will be on 8th August, but nearer the time I will inform you all more. Until then, I pass the mic back to Sudha. Welcome everyone and enjoy time with us. Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. I'm just going to introduce, before I introduce Deepu Mirpuri, I just want to say thank you very much for joining. It's so lovely to see you all here today again for another Silver Sunday, and let's enjoy it. So I have the great pleasure of introducing our CEO, Deepu Mirpuri, who I will hand over to now. Deepu, the stage is yours. Deepu, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Sudha. Hare Krishna. On behalf of the SadhuVaswani Center UK, I welcome everyone to our second Silver Sunday event dedicated to the organ donation. This afternoon, you'll hear some incredible first-hand experiences from actual organ donors. The program is packed with lots of information to help you understand the process and remove any doubts and fears. And later, we'll have some entertainment, live singing from India. So please stay tuned. During the program, if you have any questions about any aspect of the organ donation process, please feel free to type in your question in the chat box. We'll then request the donors to answer as many as we can. Dear friends, donating an organ is probably one of the greatest gifts one can give another. It's a great act of kindness that is high-spirited, noble-minded, and generous beyond measure. The donation blesses both the giver and the recipient, and is a gift that goes on giving. Today, we are honored to be joined by Prafulla Shah. She will share the details of her selfless journey, how she has donated one of her kidneys. SadhuVaswani Center owes her a debt of gratitude. She has been instrumental in guiding SVC for the running, coordinating, and managing this campaign. Prafulla, thanks to you, many hundreds will benefit. We appreciate all your help, and we are looking forward to hearing from you soon. But before that, we're going to hear from a young, courageous couple, Seena and Jay. Seena is a clinical analyst for Guy's and St. Thomas's NHS Trust, and Jay is a banker with Deutsche Bank. Sadly, they lost their son Ari, aged just 3.5. It is what they did after that to keep his memory alive that sets them apart. Seena and Jay, please accept our heartfelt condolences. I'm truly grateful to you both for joining us this morning and sharing your experience, one that has gone on to change the lives of so many. I'll pass the mic on to you, and thank you very much. I think you're on mute, Jay.
Are you able to unmute? No? Try again now, please.
Yeah, no, we can hear you now.
Yes, okay. Hello. On behalf of Seena and I, thank you for allowing us into your community, the SadhuVaswani UK community. Sudha, thank you for allowing us to kind of go through this before. And what we'll do is just introduce ourselves, and then Sudha will hand over to you if you can play the video, and then we can talk about Ari and our experience and our reasoning for choosing to donate Ari's organs. So I'm Jay, this is Seena.
I'm Seena.
And you're about to see Ari, our son, who is the main reason that we're here and the main reason we're talking to you guys. So that I'll hand over to you if you could play our video, and then I'll talk to Seena and I'll talk to her.
He taught us how to be better human beings. He was only here for 3.5 years, but I can truly tell you that he achieved more in his life than I think Seena and I can ever achieve in ours. I took the instant decision and said, please save every single organ you can. Allow us to donate his organs to other needed children. I don't think the consultant or the nurse expected that.
I didn't feel at any point any pressure to have to do it, and I felt I could change my mind.
The nicest thing about that time was they gave us 24 hours more with Ari. This is Ari's life, this wasn't our life to give. I kept on saying, tell us what you want to do, Ari. And maybe this was his way of telling us that, you know, I've tried, and it wasn't enough. You know? So I think we've done the right thing.
I didn't realise how rare it is for children to donate organs. I thought it was quite a normal thing to do.
It's important that people think about decisions in a logical way, and that's why it was so easy, because it was really about Ari and what Ari would do to give back to others. His twin sisters have donor cards, and they're proud of having them. We have a lot of amazing videos and these photos of him, but this one thing I think helps us heal. It helps us believe that Ari's life wasn't wasted. While we lost our little boy, he donated his organs and we were proud of that. And Ari, I'm sure, lives on in others. Maybe the girl that has his heart has the same smile.
Thank you. So I think I'll start off by just saying a little bit about us. So Jay and I met when a long time ago, when we were 17 years old at college. And we've been together for 28 years now and married for coming up to 21 years. And I remember when we were dating, I said to Jay, I got my driver's license and I ticked off the boxes at the back, which normally say, would you donate your organs if something happened to you? And I ticked all the boxes and said to Jay, if anything happens to me, these are my wishes. And that was that. And we never thought about it again, never spoke about it. I didn't know what Jay's thoughts were on organ donation at the time. So in that time, we've got married and we had our first child, Ari, who was much wanted to have IVF to have him, and as well as our twin girls as well. So that kind of started our family. And then when he was 3.5 years old and his twin sisters, Asha and Isla, they were 1.5. He was at home and he had an accident at home where he got himself strangled in the blind cord at home. So I found him at home. And anyway, he was taken to our local A&E department. And after that, he was taken to St. George's. And we were told at this time that, he's probably not going to make it. And if he does make it, he's not going to have a good quality of life. So then we spent 4 days with him in hospital. Yep. After that time.
Yeah. At 4 a.m, we were told by the consultants that the swelling on his brain wouldn't stop. It would then start to affect every single one of his organs over the next 72 hours. So at that time, I can remember quite vividly me seeing a consultant and a nurse. That was it. At 4, we told the consultant, or Sina told the consultant, save every organ, allow us to save any other child that needs Ari's organs more than Ari could do with them. We knew we'd lost our son, but we also knew that he had the opportunity to save a lot of other people. We didn't know how many people. We just thought it was the right thing to do.
I think I suppose we came to that decision because of however many years before that, when Jay and I met, I'd had it down that I wanted to be an organ donor. And while we were sitting with Ari after like day 2, I mentioned it to Jay, would you consider it? And that was kind of the trigger for us at the time.
We were never asked prior to that, apart from on a small occasion, whether or not we wanted to donate Ari's organs, or we weren't ever felt pressurized. Ari's consultant was a gentleman by the name of Anami Gore. He had spent 20 plus years as a consultant for pediatric kids in intensive care. And he tried everything. For 4 days, there was not one day or 1 minute that he didn't try to save Ari's lives. I have 2 very close family members, one in Canada and one in the UK, that are consultants. One is a intensive care doctor, and he would call them and ask for their advice as well. So no, we were confident that everything had been done to try and save him. It's very rare that you're in a situation where you are able to donate a family member's organs. It is, I think, probably 1% of all deaths where it is you are able to actually credibly take the organs of the individual. And in this case, Ari was brain stem dead. That is the technical word or the medical word that's used. At 9 o'clock in the morning, that morning, we were greeted by consultants, retrieval surgeons, nurses, and someone that's become a dear friend, a SNOD. There is, for any time you decide to donate a person's organs, you are assigned a SNOD. It's a specialist organ donation nurse. Ari's nurse is Jo Cox, and to this day, even 5 years on, she still refers to Ari as Ari. She contacts us all the time. She is our contact into the recipients. If we ever want to speak to the recipients, we can. They have written to us. But a couple of things that I wanted to probably just mention, and it's important for this audience to understand that my mom, sadly this year, both my parents got coronavirus. On the 4th of January, on the 22nd of January, my mom died from coronavirus, no other illness. My dad spent 45 days in a coma and woke up at the end of March, and he is now in recovery from coronavirus. And so he died. My mom died while my dad was asleep. But one thing I can tell you is that I was fine, Sina and I were fine making the decision about allowing Ari's organs to be donated, also to allowing Ari to move on. My hardest thing was to tell my mom at 9 o'clock in the morning, the morning that we decided to donate his organs, and he would be pronounced dead the next day. I spoke to my mom and I said to her, I'm really sorry. Sina and I have decided to let Ari go because he won't survive. But we've also decided to donate his organs. And the main reason I'm talking about this is I had never had a conversation with my mom about organ donation. And I didn't know whether or not the Hindu faith would allow something or would appreciate something of that magnitude. Seva, some people say Seva is sacrament, and I think we made the ultimate sacrifice. I didn't, Ari did. Ari made the ultimate sacrifice of his organs to allow others to live on. My mom was the proudest person that day of us. She was grieving like we were at the loss of Ari, but she said we'd made the best decision for him and the best decision for us. And that cemented what is 4 generations of my entire family that know now about organ donation, about how to talk about death and how to embrace it in a positive way, which is what Sina and I have done. I'll let Sina talk a little bit about surgery, because I think it's important that people understand how the retrieval surgery works, and you get a better understanding that there's many myths about butchery, but that's not true.
So on the day that he actually donated his organs, Ari's consultant, Mr. Gore, he actually came into work, and he doesn't normally work on that day, but he wanted to come and see Ari, and I think it's all the small things that you remember. He wheeled him down to theatre and just spent time with us and looked after us on that day. But we were able to take him down to theatre, and then after his organs were retrieved, we were then allowed to spend time with him again, and we were given as much time as we wanted, or as little time, and then we were allowed to dress him. We washed him, and I'm not very, very religious at all, but both of our mums and the dads, we were able to say some prayers and just spend time with him. They were all able to address him, and when we saw him afterwards, he looked exactly the same as he did before. He had this tiny 2 little cuts on his body, just where his heart was, and just around his stomach, and they were probably that big with 2 little plasters on. He looked completely peaceful, and he just looked like our Ari as he did before. He looked, but yeah.
But we talk a lot about Ari, and we've done this many times. But the one thing that helps Sina and I is not just remember him in a positive way, because no parent wants to lose their child. But we try and encourage people to have those conversations with their families and talk about death. It's a normal course of life. We all will die one day. Then it's the question of, what would you like to do should you be in that circumstance of being able to help someone else that needs that part of your body more than you do, or you can use. So for us, it was really important to start this journey. To be honest with everyone, this has helped us heal. It's been hard 5 years. I can truly say now that Ba is taking care of Ari, and that's, for me, that's amazing. Because I can think of it in a negative way that Mum died at the age of 72, but I think of it in a positive way. What I'll do is I'll leave you with one thought. There were 7 organs donated. Unfortunately, one of the organs could not be, they could not find a match, and that was his kidneys. So one organ went to a girl who was at the time 3.5, 4 years old. She's now 9. She has his heart and she's well. She's doing really well. A boy received 5 other organs. It's the first time in the UK that a child of the age of 3 has received so many organs and survived in one surgery from one donor. So Ari broke ground, and thanks to the retrieval surgeons and the surgeons that operated on the transplant, they were able to save all those organs and actually save that boy. He is now 8 years old and he's doing really well. And I think the last thing that I'll do is I'll show you this one picture. This picture is from the girl that has Ari's heart. We received a letter 2 years ago from her mum. She has two brothers, and this, I think, says it all for us, that this girl can tell us that she is grateful to have Ari's heart. Maybe, as I say in the video, she has his smile, but we'll never know.
I think it shows that it does make a difference, because there she is drawing a picture for us and going to school and doing the normal things. So it's made a huge difference to her and to her family as well. And that's the difference it can make if people agree to organ donation.
All we encourage everyone to do on this is just have a conversation with your family. There will be a link that will be published out after this call. Feel free to join the register. Feel free to opt out of the register. No, there's a personal decision. It's not. I'm not here to plead to people to have to do it. It is a personal choice. But a decision like ours can be life-changing for someone else. And so we'll leave you with that thought. Sadhu, thank you. Prafulaban, thank you. And thank you to the whole SadhuVaswani UK group for allowing us to use this platform to talk about our son. We miss him a lot. There's not a day that goes by. But as I said, Chuchiba or Kurtikaba is taking care of Ari now, which gives us comfort. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay and Sina, for telling us very interesting story about Ari. very touching story. For everybody's information, the link that Jay just mentioned, I have put that in the chat box, so you can click on the link and see further details, opt in and opt out, what he explained. This is one of the purposes for having this kind of sessions. We encourage you to look at this site. Moving forward, this is a very touching and life-changing story. But after that, we should have some kind of entertainment. And I will introduce our musical team today. We have Dr. Gaurang Mehta. He has been practicing doctor for last more than 30 years. And he has passion for the elderly people. He organizes the concert every year, where more than 1,500 people from different care homes are brought for entertainment and food, and then they are taken back. He has special affection for this kind of projects. So is his daughter Isha. She is physiotherapist by profession, and they both sing together very well. They will be entertaining us throughout this program. With them is, sorry, before I move on to the anchor, I want to share with you one picture, which is of Dr. Gaurang. He has been awarded as the best doctor by Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So this is his award receiving picture with his wife in the picture. So this program will be anchored by Ms. Amrapali Ben Desai. She is retired director of All India Radio, and she has special interest in organ donation. When her father passed away, they donated the whole body to the medical hospital, and it is a couple of years ago. But that's the commitment and passion she has demonstrated within her own family, and she also has the passion to help people, especially during pandemic, to deal with the mental health issues or relationship issues. And for the purpose, she has a professional service called Gupshup. You can visit her page on Facebook, and you can deal with your different problems. I now hand over to Amrapali Ben to entertain us for the first part. Thank you. Over to you, Amrapali Ben.
नमस्कार। अभी हमने जय और सीना की बहुत इमोशनल बात सुनी, और उसके बाद तुरंत हमें जब एंटरटेन की तरफ जाना होता है, तो स्वाभाविक है कि इस वर्चुअल सिल्वर संडे का जो पर्पस है, जिसमें कुछ कर गुजरने की चाह है, और इसीलिए आज हम सब यहाँ इकट्ठा हुए हैं, तो उसकी सच्ची भावना के साथ हमें प्रभु से प्रार्थना ही करनी चाहिए कि हमारा जीवन ऐसा दो कि हम किसी के काम आए, जीने के बाद भी और मरने के बाद भी। तो इस चाह के साथ हम प्रार्थना करते हैं, जिसको स्वर दिया है गौरांग, डॉक्टर गौरांग और ईशा मेहता ने। सुनिए प्रार्थना।
ओ मालिक मालिक तेरे बंदे हम ऐसे हो हमारे करम नेकी बत्ती से कले ताकि हंसते हुए निकले हम। है मालिक तेरे बंदे हम, से हो हमारे कदम, नेकी पर चले और बड़ी से चले ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। है मालिक तेरे बंदे हम। ये अंधेरा गना छा रहा, तेरा इंसान घबरा रहा। ये अंधेरा गना छा रहा, तेरा इंसान घबरा रहा। हो रहा बेखबर कुछ न आता नजर, जिसका सूरज छुपा जा रहा है। तेरी रोशनी में जो हम तो अमावस को कर दे पूनम। नेकी पर चले और बदी से चले ताकि हंसते हुए निकले हम। है मालिक तेरे बंदे हम।
अरे वाह, इस प्रार्थना में तो वर्षा और दीपक भी है। तो आज समय ऐसा चल रहा है कि मन बेचैन हो रहा है ना? अरे नहीं नहीं, सिर्फ मेरा ही मन बेचैन है ऐसा नहीं है। क्यों? आप सबका भी मन बेचैन नहीं? घर में रह रह के अपने आप ही उलझन होने लगती है कोरोना की वजह से। अभी हम पहले भी सुन रहे थे कि यहाँ से वहां जाओ, इंडिया से यूके जाओ तो भी डर लग रहा है कि कहीं कुछ हो न जाए। तो ये जो चारों तरफ कोरोना का कहर छा गया है, तो मन तो बेचैन होना ही है। लेकिन अगर आपको हमारे हीरो राजेश खन्ना की तरह मन बेचैन है, तो फिर आपको अपना प्यार ढूंढना पड़ेगा, तभी आप चैन पाओगे। प्यार कई मर्ज की दवा है, लेकिन मन की दवा तो सिर्फ प्यार ही है, जो चैन देती भी है और चैन लेती भी है ना? लगता है आपको इस बात पर ज्यादा भरोसा नहीं, तो सुनिए ये गाना डॉक्टर गौरांग की आवाज में।
अपना ही साया देख के तुम जान जहां शर्मा गए। अभी तो ये पहली मंजिल है, तुम तो अभी से घबरा गए। मेरा क्या होगा सोचो तो जरा, हाय ऐसे न आहे बड़ा कीजिए। ओ मेरे दिल के चैन, चैन आए मेरे दिल को घुमा दीजिए। आपका अरमान आपका मेरा तराना और नहीं, इन झुकती पलकों के सिवा दिल का ठिकाना और नहीं। जचता ही नहीं आंखों में कोई, दिल तुमको चाहे तो क्या कीजिए। ओ मेरे दिल के चैन, चैन आए मेरे दिल को घुमा दीजिए। यूं तो अकेला भी अक्सर गिर के संभल सकता हूँ मैं, तुम जो पकड़ लो हाथ मेरा दुनिया बदल सकता हूँ मैं। मांगा है तुम्हें दुनिया के लिए, अब खुद ही सनम फैसला कीजिए। ओ मेरे दिल के चैन, चैन आए मेरे दिल को दुआ कीजिए। ओ मेरे दिल के चैन, ओ मेरे दिल के चैन।
वाह, हमारे हीरो को तो चैन मिल गया, लेकिन प्यार कुदरत का दिलकश खेल है। हमें अचानक अनजान व्यक्ति अच्छी लगने लगती है, जिसे हम जानते भी नहीं, जिसके बारे में हमें खास कुछ पता भी नहीं, लेकिन अचानक से एकदम हमें वो अपनापन सा उसे लगता है। जब वो हमारी नजरों से ओझल हो जाती है तो मन बेचैन हो जाता है और उसे ढूंढने लगता है, उसे जंगल में, पहाड़ों में, वादियों में और गलियों में भी। आज ये सोचते हैं तो लगता है कि क्या पागलपन था वो समय का। लेकिन सही बताऊं, आज भी दिल धड़कता है ना, तो मन को अच्छा लगता है कि नहीं? चलो, डॉक्टर गौरांग और ईशा मेहता के सुरीले स्वर में सुनिए ये गाना और खुद भी महसूस कीजिए।
जान ढूंढता फिर रहा हूँ तुम्हें रात दिन मैं यहाँ से वहाँ मुझको आवाज दो चुप गए हो सनम तुम कहाँ फिर रहा हूँ तुम्हें रात दिन मैं यहाँ से वहाँ ओ मेरे हमसफर प्यार की राह पर साथ ले हम मगर क्या खबर ओ मेरे हमसफर प्यार की राह पर साथ ले हम मगर क्या रास्ते कहीं रह गए हम नसी तुम कहाँ छुप गए हो सनम तुम कहाँ मैं यहाँ तुम कहाँ मैं यहाँ ढूंढता फिर रहा हूँ तुम्हें रात दिन मैं यहाँ से वहाँ पास हो तुम खड़े मेरे दिल में छुपे और मुझे कुछ पता ना चला पास हो तुम खड़े मेरे दिल में छुपे और मुझे कुछ पता ना ढूंढता फिर रहा हूँ तुम्हें रात दिन मैं यहाँ से वहाँ
हमारा गाने का सिलसिला तो चालू रहेगा, लेकिन उसके पहले मैं राम कुंदनानी से कहूंगी कि वो हमारे दूसरे डोनर है, उनका परिचय दे।
धन्यवाद आम्रपाली बेन, धन्यवाद आम्रपाली बेन। मैं आगे बढ़ूं इससे पहले आपको एक और इंट्रोडक्शन कराना चाहता हूं जो प्रार्थना में थे। उनमें एक भाई साहब थे जिनका नाम है दीपक भाई गांधी। वो रिटायर्ड एग्जीक्यूटिव इंजीनियर हैं और इस तरह से अच्छा गाना भी गाते हैं। और दूसरी एक महिला थी जिनका नाम है वर्षाबेन मेहता, और वो डॉक्टर गौरांग की वाइफ है। तो ये आपके स्क्रीन पे दिख रहे हैं। धन्यवाद आप दोनों का इस प्रोग्राम में शामिल होने के लिए। So now let me introduce Prafula Ben. She is an advisor to this program for Sadhu Vaswani Center, and she is going to share her story of donating the kidney. Over to you, Prafula Ben.
Thank you, everyone. Namaste to everyone. My slight apologies for joining slightly later today. I had another event to attend this morning. Can I just say thank you for hosting this event again and raising awareness of organ donation. What can I say about Ari's story? Every time I hear it, I get very emotional, and I've heard it so many times over the last 3 years since I met Jay and Sina the first time. He leaves an amazing legacy. As I said in my comment, an incredible thing that he has done and helped 7 people through this journey of organ donation. My own journey started way back in 2017, but actually much earlier than that. Some of you have heard this story slightly when I was here last talking about this, but I donated my kidney to my niece in March of 2018. My niece was born only with 1 kidney, and that also wasn't functioning to capacity. So as a family, we had known for a long time that something would have to happen as Shakti got older. We were in constant contact with the medical team that were looking after Shakti at Great Ormond Street Hospital. And we were told that by the time maybe she's about 12 or 13, we will need to consider dialysis or organ transplant. In Shakti's case, in fact, she was actually 24 before this was needed. Her mom took incredibly good care of her. Her diet was really strict, and Shakti managed to get through her education, got a degree at university in York, and she also got a scholarship to study at King's College in London. After all of this happened in the summer of that year, her kidney function went down to 7%. And that's when we had to make some very important decisions as a family. She's my sister's daughter, and we have quite a large family. So I have 4 sisters, mom and dad. My dad passed away 10 years ago, but mom is still alive. And a number of people were tested to see if we were a match for Shakti. Sadly, no one was, including myself. And मुझे एक really important बात कहनी है आप लोगों को यहाँ, and ये बात ये है, शक्ति बहुत हेजिटेंसी से किसी को बोलती नहीं थी कि आप मेरे लिए ये टेस्ट करो. एंड ऐसा होता है, जिस लोगों को ये जरूर होती है ना, वो कभी किसी को नहीं बोलते कि आप ये मेरे लिए करो. और शक्ति भी ऐसे ही थी, किसी को बोलती नहीं थी, किसी को मजबूर नहीं करना था. So a number of us tested. As I said, I was not a direct match to my niece, but we sought additional advice from the team then looking after her at the Royal Free Hospital. And we were told that there is possibly another avenue, and that is to look at the kidney sharing scheme. This is a UK-wide scheme where people waiting for a kidney donor and people willing to donate come together in a database. 4 times a year, the database is run to see if there are any matches. We joined that scheme, in late 2017, and incredibly lucky. And I pray and I thank people for the blessings that we have received along this journey. In January 2018, a match was found for Shakti. And in March 2018, I donated my kidney. And Shakti also received a donation from some kind soul. I don't know where my kidney has gone to, except I know it went to somebody, a man in his 40s who has three children. Shakti is doing really well now, and that donation has changed her life. I think we're going to share a little video, Sudhaben, if you can play it, please, of my actual surgery. I warn you all, it is quite graphic. When I watch it, I still feel very emotional. But this was covered by the BBC in May of 2018 to raise awareness of organ donation in our communities. So if we're ready, maybe let's look at the video. It's only very short, and then I'll continue with my presentation.
Prafula Shah donated one of her kidneys in March this year at the Royal Free Hospital in London.
My motivation is my niece, who's been waiting for a kidney for 2 years. I wasn't a direct match for her, so we're doing this through the kidney sharing scheme. So my kidney is going to go to somebody who's been waiting for a while as well, and my niece is getting a kidney as well.
In the last few minutes, Prafula has been put to sleep. All the final preparations are being made, and the surgery itself should take just over 2 hours. People from minority groups are more likely to need an organ transplant because they're at greater risk of developing medical conditions. And this is Prafula's kidney, now on its way to help someone else. 3 weeks later, back at home, both Prafula and her niece Shakti are recovering well and are now planning a holiday with their family.
I've not felt this energetic and sort of clear-headed for years.
Shakti and I have always been very close, and I think this has even brought us closer together. I don't have any children of my own, so I thank Shmali. Yes, definitely.
Adina Campbell, BBC News.
So I have a very short presentation, which I wanted to just share some statistics with you about organ donation in the UK. I am an organ donation ambassador, and as Ramji mentioned earlier, I'm an advisor to this project. As Ajay and Sina, they do amazing work as ambassadors for organ donation. There is a group that we are all part of called the Jain and Hindu Organ Donation Steering Alliance, which Sonu Malkani, who I'm glad to see here, is also a part of. So we are trying to raise awareness and do as much work as we can to bring information to the community and help the community deal with the challenge that we have on our hands. I have some slides which I'm going to now run through with people. If you have any questions for me or the kidney sharing scheme, please do post them in the chat, and we'll try and answer as many as we can later. Okay, so here's my slides. So I'm going to talk about organ donation, which is a community challenge, and the community has to actually do something about this challenge. That photograph was taken with Shakti outside Royal Free Hospital a couple of weeks after our donation, and has been used quite widely, I have to say, and I use it everywhere, just to introduce Shakti to everyone. Okay, so why? I wanted to just ask a couple of questions of the audience today. There's this slide and there's one a bit later. So would you agree to an organ transplant if in need? So these are three very simple, it's a very simple question. People answer the question sometimes using these three options. Yes, definitely. Yes, maybe. No, it's against my belief and principles. What I'd like everyone to do is have this question in your mind and write your answer in the chat if you can, please. I'll run along with the presentation in the meantime. So the question is, would you agree to an organ transplant if in need? And I'd like your answer, please, in the chat. Thank you. Right. So I'm going to continue with the presentation. If I can have my next slide, please. So the current situation with organ donation and transplant waiting lists in the UK is what I'm going to feature in the next two slides. And COVID has affected transplants, not dramatically in the UK because transplants continued even during the pandemic. However, it has affected the waiting list. So currently there are almost 6,000 people in the UK waiting on a transplant waiting list. And shockingly, 32% of these people are from the Black and ethnic minority communities. That is a huge figure. And a huge imbalance when we look at what the waiting list looks like, you know, for the indigenous population of the UK. My next slide, please. So what is the actual problem for our communities? And the problems that we talk about, we hear a lot about health inequalities, and we hear a lot about BAME community generally and everything that has affected us. And we've actually heard a lot about it during the pandemic as well. So I'm afraid with organ donation also, it is a health inequality, which means that people from the Asian community are in a greater need of transplants, particularly things like kidneys. A lot of people waiting on the transplant waiting list are actually waiting for kidneys. Many people in dialysis units that you will go to up and down this country are actually from BAME communities. So the need is greater. The second problem we've got is that some communities, and that includes us, are hesitant in registering for organ donation. So while there's a huge need, the available donors aren't there. So there's that imbalance. And the third issue, and this is a really important point, is 80% of people agree to organ donation, but only 39% have told their loved ones. So what happens is, should you be in that 1%, you know, category where organ donation is possible because you die in a hospital and you are able to donate your organs, you're healthy, you've got some healthy organs, what happens is your family is still consulted and they may not agree with your decision, and they do and can overturn that decision, which is why we have to make a positive decision and talk to our families about that decision. Latest figures, and these figures go to April 2020, we're waiting for the figures for 2021, tell us that Asian people, and this is particularly the category that we fall into, only 3% of the total disease donors came from our community, whereas 14% of transplants happened for our community. 18% of us are on the waiting list for a transplant. And that is an imbalance that we really need to do something about as a community. And once again, I want to thank the SadhuVaswani Center for taking on this challenge, along with many others, to try and actually level up. And we're hearing a lot about leveling up as well recently, but this is a leveling up that we absolutely need to do to help all of us in the community. Can I have my next slide, please? So what can we do? What should we do? And what actually are we all being allowed to do? So first of all, find out as much as you can about organ donation and the facts. Don't rely on any myths or
Prafulla, sorry to interrupt you, but we've lost sound. Prafula? Prafula, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
The sound disappeared for a short while. I'm not sure why, but I can hear you now. So
Okay.
Can we do the last bit without the slide? Maybe the slide is affecting the sound. Sorry about that.
So the last bit, I don't know when you lost the sound. The last bit I was saying, there's the 2 points. Some communities, what I was saying was we hear a lot of fake news and we need people to actually share the correct information in the community. So any information that you've learned today, please tell others. We've got 47 people, or we had 47 people on this meeting earlier. But if you share the news with others and share the information with others, then people will get the correct information. And then please sign up using the link that you've seen before. And, make that decision, make that positive decision, and then tell your friends and family about your decision so they know and they can respect your wishes. I am going to need the slides, Sudhaben, for the next one, because that is the poll that I wanted to do with people on the call, please. It's just 2 more slides. So I asked a question earlier about whether you'd agree to a transplant if you were in need. And this question is about, would you agree to donate your organs after death? Please tell us what you think, because these statistics are also really important in letting everyone know what we feel as a community. We often hear about hesitancy. We heard a lot about hesitancy with the vaccine program. And anecdotally, we hear that some communities are not for organ donation. It would be really nice to be able to say that we have a definite decision and we make definite choices. So it would be really great if people can just put their whatever they feel in the chat today, and then Ramji will try and do his magic with the statistics and share those with NHSBT. Right, next slide, please. So this doesn't really need much explanation. If you register, you will get a card like this. So although I've donated my kidney, I've already registered to donate the rest of my organs when I pass away, because they're going to be of no use to me. And, my soul will have traveled somewhere else already, and my body will not be of much use to me or my family. So I've already registered, and I want everyone else to perhaps take that decision. Tell your family and leave them certain, because that is really important that they understand your decision. And that's me with my presentation. Can I just thank everyone? So my last slide, please. Can I just thank everyone, please, for doing what you're doing at the SadhuVaswani Center to raise awareness of organ donation, but more importantly, for the work that you're doing to keep engaging with the community at this really difficult time. And thank you for inviting me back to talk about organ donation. Namaste.
Thank you, Prafula-ben, for your interesting journey. I have put in the link that Prafula-ben mentioned, and also Jay mentioned earlier on in the chat side. And I do not see any questions coming from the audience so far. But if anybody wants to ask one question, we can unmute you, and you can ask the question either to Prafula-ben or to Jay. Jay and Sina.
Ram, there's a number of questions in the chat at the moment. I can read them out to you if you like.
Yeah, if you can take it up, that will be better.
That'll be fine. So I'll just read out the questions. Let's find them now. Like, how long does a donor have to gift their organ? The parents mentioned 24 hours. Is that the limit? Within 24 hours, an organ has to be taken?
I suppose I'm not medically trained, but we've been told that the sooner they transplant the organs, the better, because obviously it takes some time to find a match on the database, on the system, but also those organs might be going to a completely different part of the country, traveling by, sometimes they're taken by helicopter, or however they need to get them sometimes to go to a different country. So they try and do it as quickly as possible. It's just I think with us, it was just then planned for the next day, but it can't, because we were told that Ari's condition was deteriorating, even though he was on a ventilator. So the idea was to try and get it done as quickly as possible. But I think it takes time to find the right match for the organs.
Is there a point past? Sorry, I'm sorry.
I'll just add something there. Sina's absolutely right. So there is a finite amount of time that the medical teams and the transplant retrieval team has to retrieve the organs. And sometimes the matches are not necessarily in the local place that the person has died in. So they have to make arrangements to transport those organs. And what goes behind this is an incredible journey. A transplant retriever surgeon shared his story of what happens in the process with one of my events. And there's 220 people involved from the NHS Blood and Transplant and NHS team in hospitals when a transplant is going to happen successfully. So the amount of work that goes into this is absolutely incredible. And, you know, they take incredible care, as Sina and Jay explained in their story. You know, the person and the family are treated with so much dignity and respect. And, you know, a lot of work has to happen before the transplant happens, but during the transplant itself. So absolutely hats off to the NHS for doing this. And, you know, the work that the teams do is absolutely incredible.
So we will take one more question, and in view of the time that we have up until 1 o'clock, the rest of the questions will pass on to the speakers, and we'll get the responses from them and circulate it to everybody else. Okay. So yes, Sudha, you can ask one more question, please.
There's one more here that says, does it affect your life after the donation, i.e. do you have to change your diet or anything of that sort? So once the donation, obviously that's probably directed to you, Prafula.
So no, I mean, I'm very careful, and I lead a fairly healthy life because I now have only one kidney, and it's really important to protect it. I don't get involved in lots of dangerous activities, so I'm not going to be climbing any mountains anytime soon. But in terms of diet, no, nothing. I eat absolutely everything that I choose to eat. My niece Shakti now eats absolutely everything she chooses to eat. And, you know, there was a question in the chat earlier about my recovery time, which I do want to tell people about, because more than my physical recovery, it was a very emotional time for me and my family. And so I took actually full 12 weeks off work, and then I went back to full-time working after 12 weeks. But after 8 weeks, people are pretty much fit and healthy to do whatever they want to do. My biggest challenge was not being able to drive for 8 weeks. So anyone that donates is then not allowed to drive. And it's nothing to do with you as a physical person and your ability to drive. It is to do with being able to stop in an emergency and you're not covered by an insurance policy. So, you know, there are challenges with that recovery time, but I'm so blessed that I have a very close family and friends and family, and, you know, everyone took fantastic care of me, including my team at Royal Free Hospital. So yeah, it's not a great recovery period. 8 weeks is all you need, but you'll be doing an incredible seva.
Thank you, Prafula. We have one or two more questions, but we'll answer them to the respective people separately by getting responses from the speakers. Let's carry on with our musical program. And a few people have given their farmaish as well. And the music team has agreed to honor those farmaish. So first we'll cover the regular part that we have scheduled, and then we will go on to the farmaish side. I would encourage everybody to continue to be there and enjoy the program. Over to you, Amrapali.
शुक्रिया राम भाई। पहले तो मैं ये कहूंगी कि आज हमने दो बहुत इमोशनल स्टोरी सुनी। उसको स्टोरी क्यों कहे, जीवन की बातें सुनी, और थोड़ा थॉट प्रोवोकिंग भी थी कि हमें शरीर के कुछ अंगों को डोनेशन करना है या नहीं। ये कंसेप्ट ही बहुत नया है, तो थोड़ा सा बोझिल भी हो गया है। तो मन को खुश भी होना जरूरी है, क्योंकि नहीं तो मन भी बोझिल हो जाएगा। तो चलो मैं बोलती हूँ और आप कल्पना कीजिए। हम एक ऐसा चित्र तैयार करते हैं कि जो हमारी कल्पना की दुनिया क्या है वो भी हमें पता चले। तो शुरू करते हैं। सूरज उगता है, उजाला होता है, वो इंडिया हो या यूके हो, कहीं भी ये होता है, और दिन शुरू हो जाता है। फिर धीरे धीरे शाम ढलती है, आकाश रंग बदलने लगता है और फिर अंधेरा छा जाता है। उसके साथ ही चमकीले सितारों वाली नीली चुंदड़ी बिछाए आकाश दिखता है। उस पर चांद आके चांदनी बिखेरने लगता है। आप प्रेमी हो तो प्रेमी को चांद में अपनी प्रियतमा का मुख दिखता है और वो मुस्कुराता है। और अचानक से कहीं से बादल आ जाते हैं, जैसे अभी हमारे सूरत में है। लेकिन वो बरखा को लेके आते हैं और बरसते हैं। कितना सुंदर माहौल हो गया है अभी यहाँ कि हम प्रेम की बातें बहुत प्यार से सोच सकते हैं। लेकिन प्रेमी सोचता है कि काश ऐसे माहौल में अगर प्रियतमा यहाँ होती तो। लेकिन ये क्या है, उसका हाथ पकड़ा किसी ने, उससे खींचा, बारिश में ले गए। और ये क्या, प्रेमी और प्रेमिका एक साथ बारिश में भीगने लगे। पूरा नजारा ही बदल गया। और उस नजारे को देखते देखते हम ये गाना सुनेंगे, डॉक्टर गौरांग और ईशा के स्वर। और महसूस कीजिए वो माहौल जिसमें आप भी शामिल हो।
कल नहीं आना मुझे न बुलाना कि मारेगा ताना जमाना कल नहीं आना मुझे न बुलाना कि मारेगा ताना जमाना तेरे होठों तेरा ये बहाना था गोरी तुझको तो आज नहीं आना था तू चली आई दुहाई और क्या बात हो गई तू चली आई दुहाई और क्या बात हो गई मैंने छोड़ा जमाना तेरे साथ हो गए मैंने छोड़ा जमाना तेरे साथ हो गए तुमने काजल लगाया दिन में रात हो गई तेरी चुनरी लहराए बरसात हो गई तेरी चुनरी लहराए बरसात हो गई दिल में दिल को सारी सारी गतियां बन गई गोरी चकोरी और क्या बात हो गई बन गई गोरी चकोरी और क्या बात हो गई जिसका देखा मेरी वही बात हो गई जिसका देखा मेरी वही बात हो गई छुप गए सारे नजारे क्या बात हो गई छुप गए सारे नजारे क्या बात हो गई दिल में दिल को पुकारा मुलाकात हो गई दिल में दिल को पुकारा मुलाकात हो गई
देखिए जीवन कितना खूबसूरत है लेकिन रहस्यमय भी तो है ना अभी देखा ना कि अच्छी तरह चल रहा था हमारा प्रोग्राम गाना और कहां से कहां क्या डिस्टरबेंस आ गया तो यही होता है जो हम देखते हैं समझते हैं प्लानिंग करते हैं क्या उसी हिसाब से जीवन चलता है? नहीं ना। अपने अनुभवों को याद कीजिए। क्या आपने यही सोचा था जो आज आप जी रहे हो? नहीं ना। यही तो खूबी है जिंदगी की। जैसे जैसे जीवन की परतें खुलती है, हम खुद भी अचंभित रह जाते हैं, क्योंकि जीवन अचानक से कोई नया मोड़, कोई नई अच्छी या बुरी बात लेके सामने खड़ा हो जाता है। देखो, इसी बात को इस गाने में कैसे कहा है, जिसको गाया है ईशा मेहता ने। सुनिए ये गाना। पर्दे में रहने दो, पर्दा न उठाओ। हाँ, तो जीवन रहस्यमय है। ऐसे ही हम मुसाफिर हैं। मुसाफिर कैसे हैं? या तो ट्रेन में, बस में, प्लेन में जाते हैं, वो मुसाफिर। और अगर वो कहीं भी नहीं जाते हैं, फिर भी हम जीवन यात्रा जो कर रहे हैं, तो उस तरह से भी हम मुसाफिर हैं। अब जब हम मुसाफिर हैं और मुसाफरी करते हैं, तो अनजान लोग ही हमारे साथ होते हैं। जो हमारे हम सफर है, उन्हें तो हम जानते भी नहीं है। वो कौन है, कहाँ से आए हैं, कहाँ जाने वाले हैं, इसके बारे में हमें कुछ भी पता नहीं होता है। लेकिन फिर भी सफर तो करना ही है ना। तो क्यों ना हम हंसते गाते कुछ रहस्यों को जानकर भी अनजान होकर अपना सफर तय करें। जैसे हमारे महानायक बॉम्बे टू गोवा में अपना सफर तय करते हैं, वैसे हम भी हंसी खुशी वो सफर तय कर ले। तो सुनिए ये गाना डॉक्टर गौरांग की आवाज में।
देखा ना मैंने सोचा ना, हर व्यक्ति निशाने पे जा, कदमों में तेरे निकले मेरा दम है, बस यही अरमान है। देखा ना मैंने सोचा ना, हर व्यक्ति निशाने पे जा, कदमों में तेरे निकले मेरा दम है, बस यही अरमान। अरे डोले 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 डोले। मिट जाएंगे, मर जाएंगे, काम कोई कर जाएंगे, मर के भी चैन मिले तो जाएंगे मरो कहाँ। अरे मिट जाएंगे, मर जाएंगे, काम कोई कर जाएंगे, मर के भी चैन मिले तो जाएंगे मरो कहाँ। अरे में तेरे निकले रात है बस यही अरमान कातिल है कौन कहा नहीं जाए चुप भी तो रहा नहीं जाए बुलबुल है कौन कौन सही है अरे कुछ तो कहो मेरी जान हे कातिल है कौन कहा नहीं जाए चुप भी तो रहा नहीं जाए बुलबुल है कौन कौन सही है अरे कुछ तो कहो मेरी जान अरे कदमों में तेरे निकले रात है बस यही अरमान घर से चले खाते कसम छोड़ेंगे पीछा न हम सर पे कफन बांधे हुए अरे आया दीवाना यहाँ घर से चले खाते कसम छोड़ेंगे पीछा न हम सर पे कफन बांधे हुए आया दीवाना यहाँ अरे निशाने पे जान कदमों में तेरे निकले रादम है बस यही अरमान निशाने पे जान कदमों में तेरे निकले रादम है बस यही अरमान
अनिल चौहान कराओ
हाँ गौरांग भाई मजा आ गई अरे बैठे बैठे इतना हम जकड़ गए थे कि आपके हुडलिंग ने हमें सबको नचाने का बहुत अच्छा मौका दे दिया
तो
और
हम
बहुत
अमरपाली
खूबसूरत
बहन
गाना भी है हुडलिंग भी आपने बहुत अच्छा किया है
अमरपाली बहन हम यहाँ पे अमरपाली बहन एक मिनट हम यहाँ
जी।
पे ये कार्यक्रम खत्म करेंगे क्योंकि टाइम खत्म हो गया ठीक है तो आप अपनी तरफ से जो कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क्स हैं वो बता दीजिए ठीक है
हाँ आज इस गपशप को हम यही विराम देते हैं साधु वासवानी सेंटर लंदन जो ऑर्गन डोनेशन जैसे महत्वपूर्ण सामाजिक कार्यक्रम करती है उसके लिए उन्हें बहुत बहुत बधाई और मुझे आम्रपाली को और डॉक्टर गौरांग ईशा और वर्षा मेहता को और दीपक गांधी को यहाँ परफॉर्म करने का जो मौका दिया उसके लिए भी आप सबका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया तो यहाँ तो विराम लेते हैं लेकिन अगर आपको मुझसे बात करनी है तो मिलिए मुझे फेसबुक अकाउंट गपशप सूरत पे धन्यवाद
Hi everyone, what a wonderful program. Very informative, very emotional and very real. So thank you for all the talks. Thank you for the wonderful music. It's been a great afternoon. We'd like to express our thanks to the NHS, our speakers, Stina and Jay, and Prafula for opening our eyes to the real view of organ donation. We would also like to express our thanks to the music team, Amrapali, Dr. Gaurang Isha, for really entertaining this afternoon. The entertainment's been memorable and the music's been wonderful. So thank you so much for all the effort you guys have put in. It's really made our day. Thank you.
Can I have a minute, please?
Of course.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Sudha, for giving me the last minute. I want to thank everybody, the audience, without which this program cannot be successful. I want to thank my other colleagues in the committee, namely Dr. Haresh Wadhwani, Deepuji, Sudha, and Shalini Mirpuri. And I also would like to thank the Silver Sunday team, who have worked behind the scene a lot to bring this audience and this program to life. I want to thank everyone who has contributed in any work and form. Thank you all. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day with a lot of sunshine. 32 degrees temperature is rare thing to happen, and today it is there. So enjoy the day. Thank you very much. Over to you, Sudha.
Thank you so much, everyone. I've unmuted you all, so feel free to clap and feel free to.
And we are sorry we could not conclude with the farmaish which came through because of the lack of time.
That's okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Ramji, also. And thank you all the audience.
Organ donation people. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
And I think now I'll still be attending my SadhuVaswani Center program, so I shall be bugging you for all of us to become donors and also try and get other friends on, you know.
All the links you see in the chat box.
I'm sure they'll be shared now.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Great.
Thank you so much, everybody. It's brilliant.
Have an excellent afternoon and enjoy the sunshine. It's an
You
awesome
too.
day.
Bye-bye. God bless.